Right, we've got something unusual for you now. You may have heard that there are people calling out some of the untruths that Chris Packham may or may not have said. Oh, we're being awfully legally careful with this one. Please can I welcome onto the stage Dominic Whiteman, who is going to court with Chris Packham at the moment, and Simon Grace, who's backing him. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominic and Simon. Right, Dominic, you've got to be incredibly careful what you say.
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Okay. Anybody in here from Chris Packham's legal team? Oh, I am pleased. That is good news. Okay, can you start by explaining what you published in the Country Squire, which is an online magazine?
Correct. So one of our investigators sent me an article which was an expose of the individual that we're talking about.
You're not even allowed to say the word Chris Packham.
No.
Do you want to put up your hands and I'll just say it for you? Would that work?
Okay, you've now said it, so I can say Chris Packham. So Chris Packham has a girlfriend who owns a zoo on the Isle of Wight, and she was failing with this zoo. So he came along and turned it into a charity some years ago, and what they needed was footfall in the zoo. So they decided to go over to Spain and rescue a couple of tigers, which they then brought to the UK. And they did this by crowdfunding the case. And what they wanted to do was to say that the tigers had been rescued and had suffered terrible cruelty at the hands of the circus from where they'd been taken in Spain. So what this article exposed was the fact that there'd been no rescue, and actually there'd been no cruelty either. So as editor of Country Squire, I received the article and I looked through the evidence and I published. And then published again and again and again. And after 4 publications of these articles, which gradually exposed more, have to be very careful what I say here, more
of what he did.
Yeah, more of what he and his girlfriend did. I realized then that this was probably going to end up in court, and sure enough, I received, as did 2 others, the writer and a researcher received a legal threat. So we received the legal threat on the Friday night, sometime April 2021. And, you know, we're all of us are liars at some point in our life. But I sat there that night and I thought, no, there's no lie here. What we published was absolutely, as far as I was concerned, the facts.
Well done. All right, Simon, sorry, I'm going to stop you there. Simon, as a straight-talking Yorkshireman, do try to keep us out of the courts with your answer. Why are you here? What are you here for?
Well, me and Dominic met through Action Against Anti's Facebook group that I run, that you're familiar with, Charlie. We've worked together before. Action Against Anti's, as far as I'm concerned, Chris Packham is field sports enemy number 1. So, therefore, that's how me and Dominic tie up together. So I'm trying to help Dominic run this campaign by hopefully getting people to give money to the, you know, to what is for the case.
Because there's one thing, you know, Chris Packham does seem to have a lot of, is money, isn't it?
Absolutely, and a lot of support as well. And I don't think that, as far as the field sports community are concerned, that I don't think we realise just how close we are to, I don't want to say a ban, but we're on thin ice as far as getting a ban's concerned.
What he's pushing for.
Absolutely. And if Chris Packham, his number 1 thing at the moment is driven grouse shooting. Driven grouse shooting goes, pheasant shooting goes. Pheasant shooting goes, rabbit shooting goes. You lose grouse shooting, you lose everything. Yeah.
We got some applause.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And I think that the problem is that as individuals, field sports, men, women, we're not doing enough to protect, promote and defend field sports. That's what we do on Action Against Antis. That is our raison d'etre, to protect, promote and defend field sports. Hence, Dominic's involved, I'm involved with Dominic, and there we are.
While you're backing Dominic. Dominic, continue your story. You have received a threat of legal action.
Correct.
And where does this take you next?
So I received the threat 5 p.m. on a Friday, and it said, "Do not publish," on the lawyer's letter. So by 5 a.m. the next morning, I published it on the magazine. And
as you do.
You're allowed to. Any of this you appreciate. You're allowed to cheer or clap or anything like that.
And then I had a word with the barrister who said, "This is going to cost you best part of £1 million."
Boo.
Yeah. And I was pretty shocked, so I had a gin and tonic. And then after that, I looked at the case as a whole and how it would progress, and it actually takes years. We're not due for the final trial until May, July next year. So it'll be over 2 years of procedure, which is incredibly costly all the way through, before you actually get a chance to defend what you've published, which is mad, but that's how it is. So we've literally just gone from case management conference to, various other legal procedures. We've got discovery coming up and so forth.
So you just have to explain some of that. So case management is how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
Discovery is what the other side's going to field as documents.
Yeah, it's basically where all the kind of legal eagles sit together and charge a ridiculous amount of money to discuss what's going to happen next. And then we have discovery, which is where we can ask for evidence to back up our evidence. And it's not just me. I'm not a victim here. I can't play the victim. It's not in my nature, unlike my enemy. It's all about a team effort now. We've got a brilliant research team. We've got a brilliant fundraising team. All of them are volunteers. And, they're digging up stuff on a daily basis. Former policemen, brilliant researchers. It's a hell of an effort.
And one of the things, I just want to go on to a little aside, one of the things is handwriting, isn't it? These death threats. So should we just cover that off?
Sure.
What have you found out about handwriting so far?
So it was pointed out to me by an organisation that, when you get sued by someone, you do a deep dive. You work out where are the red flags possibly in the past, yeah? And one of the ones that was passed to me was related to handwriting in a death threat note from April 2019, which suddenly materialised, which looked very like the writing of a particular individual, as if perhaps it was written to himself.
So you're suggesting that Chris Packham sent himself a death threat?
I'm not going as far as suggesting that's the case, but the experts will be able to work it out. And every man on the street, if he's been to Specsavers, can pretty well see what's there.
I mean, the bottom line of this, Charlie, is making people aware of this case and what's going on. And I don't know how many people in this marquee are actually aware of this case and whether they've donated towards the case. And that's what we need. We need support. We need it out there so people can support it and give money.
I should warn you, Simon Grace is the Bob Geldof of Chris Packham.
Yeah.
He won't let you leave, so do be careful.
But everybody needs to. I mean, I'm pushing it all the time. I know the Action Against Antis group are pushing it all the time to try and get people to donate and to raise awareness. It's important that we get shut of Chris Packham. End of story. He's got to go. He's got to go, and it makes our sport a lot safer. That's the bottom line.
Sorry, that's Brian May going overhead right now.
That's probably Chris Packham. So no, he's got to go.
He's got to go.
Absolutely.
And the case is going to do this in two ways. There's going to be a case at the end of it, and it's going to be a constant drip of stuff that could finally get the BBC to act.
Absolutely,
and
that's what
remove
we
him
want.
from his
That's
post.
what we want. Yeah. And it's all right. It's all right. Everybody clapping. Donate. You've got to donate. This costs money. It costs money. Not just a like on a Facebook page. It costs money, and this is what we've got to get sorted out.
If you want to see it as a kind of football metaphor, we're standing in front of a goal, 90 minutes in, it's 0-0, and we've got a chance to score a penalty. And The 10 others in the countryside team are somewhere back there having a chinwag. And it feels a bit like almost we're going into this ourselves, and the message hasn't got out to people that we've got a really good chance here of, getting rid of the nemesis of the countryside.
You are sure of that? I mean, the trouble with lawyers, much as I love lawyers, the trouble with lawyers is that as you walk into the court, they go, "It is possible you'll lose." You know that.
I mean, yeah. My uncle's a lawyer, and no offence to him.
I'm so sorry.
A fence grows out of their rear end. That's how it is. They sit on the fence, and it's 50% or less. No offence to lawyers at all, but that's how they are. So they'll never say we're going to win this. But as the case develops, as discovery happens, as the expert witnesses face off against each other, the odds change. And this is all the beauty of the English court system, is that it's all public. It's all there for people to see. And even now, there's a lot of evidence out there. A lot of the facts are published. People can own this case. And they can look through it and seriously drink a whiskey while you're reading.
He is trying to run you out of town by raising the cost to a point which you can't afford.
Correct.
Has he gone down the non-disclosure agreements route, anything like that? Would you sign one if it's achieved a settlement?
I can't, because I could physically reach some kind of a settlement, but I could never show myself in my local pub in North Yorkshire ever again. And you've got to weigh it all up, and I don't want to become a teetotaler.
Very wise. Thank you, Mr. Robert Bucknell.
You put it in your pocket. We'll take donations, but to the lawyers, please. Thank you very much. Yeah, nice.
Good, Dominic. What happens next then? What happens next with the case?
So we have discovery happens from 28th of September. That's where we ask lots of finicky questions of through Packham's lawyers, and that will proceed through to most of the end of the year.
He's using Lee Day, who are the same lawyers he uses for Wild Justice, isn't he?
That's correct, yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine in London who's a solicitor, and he does quite a lot of the civil cases, the IRA, anti-IRA cases, and he said they're the go-to lawyers for the IRA in London. They're the tank chasers of the legal world. And obviously that's me saying that, not Field Sports TV. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, you can say that. I mean, I think Lee Day would say, they are campaigning lawyers, but I suppose it is quite unusual for them to take on, an individual celebrity in a defamation or in a libel case, isn't it?
It is.
He put out a press release recently to say, look, it's defamation. I told you, the judge says it's defamation. Now, I just want to clear something up about that. Are you happy it is defamation?
Okay, so the articles are defamatory unless they're true.
Aren't they defamatory? Can they be defamatory and true at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, so they are defamatory.
Truth is vindication, complete vindication.
So when he said you defamed him, you said yes, I did.
We said from the very beginning that the articles would be defamatory if they were not completely true.
Okay, I don't want to quibble over the legal point, but I get where you are.
It's on the onus is on the defendants. In this a civil case, it's not a criminal case, it's a civil case. The onus is on the defendants to prove that the facts that we stated in the case are true.
So I'm trying not to say give us your effing money, but describe the back room. Describe the kind of the operation that's backing all this up behind Dominic.
Well, I mean, the back room is basically, I keep saying action against antis. Yeah, that for me, our group basically is what it says. Does what it says on the tin. Action against antis. We're trying as a group to really, really push this on Dominic's behalf, obviously, to try and get it all done and dusted, cleaned up. I was speaking to Sarah Greenwood, who's on our team. If everybody, and I'm going back to people giving money, if everybody at the game fair, everybody gave £1 each over the 3 days, that would clean the whole thing up.
You'd solve it.
Yeah, absolutely. £1 each to keep on doing what we're doing. It's nothing.
It's pretty
and
good.
it really, I tell you what, it makes me angry, the fact that people won't support this course. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Well, perhaps they don't know about it.
Well, I think a lot of people do know about it, but they just seem to brush it off, and it doesn't affect me because I don't shoot grouse. It doesn't affect me, you know, but it does. That's the thing.
Sorry, just spell it out one more time. Why does it affect you? I mean, is it because if we get rid of Packham, he will stop being a problem?
Exactly. If we get rid of Packham, it basically saves our sport from grouse shooting right through, especially pigeon shooting. Look at all the problems this causes with GL licences and everything else. You know, it's a massive problem for us.
But when other people step up, if we get rid of Packham, there'll be another fox will move in, won't it?
Well, not really, because Packham's a personality. He's on BBC. We've got Luke Steele. Who's heard of Luke Steele? Nobody. Yeah? And if it weren't for Chris Packham, nobody'd have heard of Mark Avery or Ruth, Tingay.
So it'd be like
Wild Justice. Chris Packham is the leader of the gang. Chop the leader's legs off, the gang just fade away. You know, and that's it, and that's what we need to do.
That's how
and
you
I know
see
I keep saying it, and I'll keep banging on about it until we get it sorted out.
Right, applause,
Yeah.
well done, thank you. We first came across you at Field Sports Channel because you were with Action Against Antis.
That's right.
You were going around city centres in Yorkshire,
Yeah.
and you were demonstrating against the anti-grouse shooting demonstrations.
That's right.
I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
Just tell us about that.
Well, briefly, I'll try to cut it short. In 2018, grouse shooting got banned on Ilkley Moor, which is a moor local to me. After that, Luke Steele, who's a field sports, anti-field sports activist, decided to set up a group called Ban Blood Sports on Yorkshire's Moors. He started a campaign. Part of that campaign was to get Yorkshire Water Authority to ban grouse shooting on their moors. So he sent little teams out around Ilkley, Skipton, Harrogate, blah, blah, blah. And I saw this were happening. They sent a team to Ilkley. I knew it was happening on that morning. I put myself a few bits of info together and I went and stood next to them. They were trying to get people to sign petitions to ban grouse shooting on Yorkshire's moors. And I was there with this sort of information to say, before you sign that petition, let me tell you about the good news stories about field sports. Basically trying to stop them to sign the petition. From that, the birth of Action Against Antis came along, and now we've got a couple of thousand in group. And what we do is we go to campaigns around Yorkshire or wherever, where if there's an anti-field sports campaign, we're there at the side of them campaigning. It's all peaceful. We take the literature and we basically share information with the public and say, look, this is what field sports are all about. It's not all about bang bang killing stuff, blood sports, lust and all this. It's not about that. You know, we're respectable people. If we were psychopaths like they think we are, why have we all got guns in cabinets at home? Police won't let us have guns if we were all psychopaths. We're not. We're field sportsmen and we support the people that involved in field sports, keepers, everything else that goes with it. So that's what we do in Action Against Antis, and that's what I started the group, and now we have a team of people that write to MPs, push agendas, this, that and the other. We do all sorts of stuff. And that's it. We're there to protect, promote and defend field sports. That's what it's all about.
It's brilliant.
So,
well done.
Yeah. And I don't get paid for it, by the way.
You don't. It's a grassroots campaigning organisation, and it's growing because in some ways Packham is helping you grow. Well done, Packham. Dominic, you are going to come to court in just over a year's time, aren't you?
Just under a year. Yeah.
You're going to be able to use this case to present more stuff that will be the sand in Mr. Packham's boxer shorts between now and then. Is that right?
You can say that, yeah. Yeah. Thinking of it I can speak more philosophically about it in some ways. So Mr. Packham works on this hate victim dialectic, whereby he hates people like you, Countryside Lions, BASC and so forth. And he plays the victim historically through his career. And what that appeals to is emotion. He appeals to emotion. Facts don't feature. And what I've noticed the Countryside do is fire back science all the time at these emotional statements of hate and victimhood. which doesn't have as much resonance as it should do. So there are 2 points there. One is that what the countryside should be doing against the whole machine, the Packham Wild Justice and so forth machine. Because remember, it's not just Packham who's on the line here, it's Wild Justice too, a great thorn in the countryside. Yeah? What they should be doing is also appealing to emotions and saying, look, we actually love the countryside. We love the animals. We love the way of our way of life. And that's one of the key elements. But the other element is facts. Now, thank God we live in England, and in England there is a justice system, which I believe in, which exposes facts. And they come at you, as I said in the preliminary trial on meanings, whether they come at you via a sledgehammer or as a Gatling gun. Facts find a way through, and truth shines through in court. And that's what's facing him. How he reacts to it is up to him.
Well, Simon, Dominic, I've got to wish you the very best of luck, and I'm sure from everybody here. Could I move you over to the Field Sports Nation table over there, which is coincidentally raising money for us, and you can take as much money off people here as you like. Any of you please go over and talk to Dominic and Simon. Thank you so much for coming.
I might need that out of this chair.
Now stick around, we have another campaigner, this time on fox hunting, coming onto the stage. We'll let these two exit this way. And I'd like to welcome onto stage the man from Hunting Kind, Ed Swales. Good. Have a seat. Very nice seat. Well, Ed, I'm sorry. Follow that.
I think that is a really good one to follow because what Dom and Simon and their supporters are doing is the man in the arena moment, the blood, sweat and tears man in the arena. He is getting battered by Chris Packham and he's in the centre. He's right in the ring. And my only concern, I massively support Dom and This Is Hunting UK, along with Hunting Kind, are hugely supportive of Dom and Simon and Action Against Antis, and that's where our money is. Purely because we see it being a very clear and obvious fight. The only thing that concerns me is the lack of support that Dom is getting, and not from individuals. I know a lot of individuals, thank you very much indeed, sir, been extremely generous. What's missing is the big organisations. So you've got the Countryside Alliance, to which I subscribe, I have done since it was founded, back in whenever, 2005 or something. So I've banged in 80 quid or 70 quid a year, largely to insure myself for hunting, but also to support a great grand cause. And they got a fair bit of dosh. Dom's out there in the arena getting smashed to bits. Where's the support? Where's the money? So I would like now to say that out of the 80 quid I give you every year, I would like a little bit of that, 10, 15%, to go into Dom's cause, so that he is not losing this case because of money. He shouldn't lose his house because of this, because he's standing up for all of us. He's the only man in the arena. So I'd like to give a massive big up to Dom and Simon, and I really hope this money comes through. It needs to.
Well done. Well done. Thank you, Ed. Thank you.